So, question 2 asks, to what extent do you agree that doubt is central to the pursuit of knowledge? Answer with reference to two areas of knowledge. So, this is a to what extent question, and therefore it's going to expect you to look at both sides of the argument and evaluate just how central doubt is to the pursuit of knowledge. You're not looking at a yes no answer here, so therefore you're going to be expressing to what extent, and that's important that you include that in your answers as well, I think. Um, as always, you should be looking to the limitations of a claim that it is central or isn't central. You're going to want to use the word extent or a synonym of that in your argument as well in key places. So the key words to unpack here are doubt and central. Um, Avoid giving definitions unless you absolutely have to. These are quite common phrases, but the extent to which these terms are being used, you might want to clarify as you go through your argument, but I would avoid definitions. Um, what types of doubt might we encounter in our AOKs? Could it be a doubt about established knowledge? Could it be doubts about methodologies or approaches that we use? Could it be doubts about the results themselves? Or about how compatible different types of knowledge are with other established different types of knowledge? Is doubting everything or boundless skepticism, is that helpful in the pursuit of knowledge? Or are there fundamental principles that we need to accept in order to make progress in a particular topic? So, to that extent, what role do faith or trust have in the pursuit of knowledge? Um, Another negative of doubt could be that it leads us to dismiss possibilities too soon. Or conversely, is doubt simply the first step towards certainty? Perhaps doubt ultimately can be a motivating force and a barrier to the pursuit of knowledge. And hopefully, that's kind of the spectrum that you're going to be looking at and deciding where on that spectrum you lie. Central, as a term, seems to appear to suggest something necessary and required. So, of course, the pursuit of knowledge often involves doubt, but the question is asking to what extent is it central? So, you need to be aware of that when giving your answers. So, this question is very open ended. It doesn't specify any AOKs. So, you're free to examine any that you wish. And I think it could work with all of them. However, I think the following three are particularly fruitful and might be worth looking at initially. So, natural sciences. Doubt is foundational to the scientific method. Natural scientists only accept a claim when there's sufficient evidence for it. So belief doesn't come into it as much. So doubt is kind of in the DNA of the scientific method. It can act as a starting point for inquiry. It can be used to question methodological approaches. And it can form part of the process of confirming results, especially when it comes to peer review, of course. And doubt has led to some significant paradigm shifts in the natural sciences, real U turns, some very good examples of that. In the human sciences, another good AOK that you could look at for this question, doubt takes a role in the creation of experimental tools. You know, every experiment is going to be very, very different and very specific to the people that you are trying to understand and the behavior that you're trying to understand. And it's very complex behavior. So you're going to be doubting the limits of your own methodologies. And I think that's particularly helpful and a useful thing that doubt can do. Um, it can help human scientists question their own bias. And similarly, it can help us explore the ethical implications. You know, we have to have doubt about the methodologies, but also the ethical implications of those methodologies as well. Doubt can take a significant role in interpreting results. As we know, one of the big debates in the human sciences is correlation versus causation. And obviously, again, it has a hand in peer assessment as well. Last AOK that we can look at here is history. History has doubt sort of embedded in it as well, helpful as a starting point for challenging accounts of the past, something that we can't have direct access to, of course. So things like sources, conclusions, biased opinions, ideological perspectives, conventional accounts, all those can be challenged and questioned by doubt. Um, Doubt also allows us to support more open interpretations of historical events because it's not something we can directly observe. Um, One question to ask ourselves is: can radical skepticism lead to bias or using history out of context or to help us sort of support an ideological position? Can it lead us to conspiracy theories, for example? So some questions in the opposite direction. And then finally, also doubt can be very helpful in helping us identify bias as well.